I am joined now by the legendary Philadelphia broadcaster, sports radio guy from 94 WIP, Angelo Cataldi. Angelo, how you doing today?
John, it's great to be with you, John.
Well, I've got a couple questions for you. Man who's been in the business for a long time like yourself. We just saw another legendary announcer retire, Mark Schumacher from the Sixers. What keep keeps you going in the business for so long, would you say?
Yeah, that's when somebody like Mark retires and makes everybody else who's that age or older look at it and go, is it my turn next? The thing that keeps me going is real simple. I love it. I've loved it for 30 years now, and it's so much fun. It's work, but it's fun, and it's really hard to walk away from it. But it's just somebody's paying you a lot of money to do something you like. It's real hard to find a job like that, and it's real hard to walk away from it.
I can definitely understand that. You've been there since, if this is correct me if I'm wrong, but since 1989.
Yeah, 88 was when I started with Al on a thing called the Morning Sports page at WIP, and then on 90 I became a full timer with Tom Berkshire. So this is my 32nd year.
Gotcha. And what made you want to stop being a journalist so much to doing the sports radio gig? I mean,
money.
Turned out to be a great move for you.
It did. But it's not like I knew that newspapers were going downhill and radio would still be going strong. But they pay me more money. Yeah, I definitely decided I didn't want to stay at the Inquirer. I felt like I had done what I could do there. So I had a job offered to go to the LA Times. And I had to decide if I wanted to try radio in Philadelphia or covering the Chargers in LA. And I didn't see myself at that point as a West Coast kind of guy. So I figured I'll give this a shot for a year or two. And then if it doesn't work out, which I thought it wouldn't, but if it didn't work out, then I go back and do newspapers again. And here I am 31 years later, and I'm still doing it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the longest, I think, exception of President Steve, I think guys are amongst the same.
Yeah.
The longest running morning shows in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we've been around a long time, John. It's hard to explain because I had no background in radio. I had never done any radio before I did the part-time job with Al in 88. We had no radio experience whatsoever other than being a guest on the show. And then suddenly we were hosting it. But you know what? It worked out better than we could have ever figured.
Now, what do you think has kept the show so successful over the years?
You got to work hard every day. People don't realize that when you go in at 6 o'clock, that you're actually going in at 6. You're actually starting the show at 6. I'm there at 3:30. I go to bed at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. I get up at 2:30. I watch all the games at 2:30, 3:30. Then it's the way I've always computed it. It's like you got to do 2 hours of prep for every hour you're on the air, because you got to know everything that the fan has seen and knows, and you got to have an opinion about it. So that takes time. You can't just assume you're going to show up at 6 o'clock. There's going to be a long list of callers who can't wait to talk to you. No, you have to be provocative. You have to be interesting. You have to be funny. And all of that takes time. So if you could do that and work hard, you in a city like Philadelphia that is so loyal to people they like, you could have a very long run. But if you start to slack off, if you don't do what you're supposed to do every day to be ready, the first people that'll know are the people that listen. So you got to really stick to it every day. And in order to do that, you have to love it.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Like I hear when I listen to your show, try to listen almost every day. I think I do. How you guys come in at 3 in the morning, sometimes you get on Al for not talking that much.
Well, that's part of the shtick, you know.
Yeah.
Al is essential to the success of the show. He makes all the big decisions, Sean. When we have a big decision to make, somebody to add to the show, somebody to subtract from the show, Al's right in the middle of it. Al's the brains behind the operation, but he doesn't talk as much.
I got to say, Al's been with you on that station for a while, so has we.
Yep.
And you got your collection of side guests like Bowie King, Mitch Wilms, Keith Jones, and anybody else I might be missing. Moving them out, yeah.
Yeah, we do. And those come and go. Like we haven't kept Keith Jones is the one that's been there for 20 some years, but most of the others come and go. They find other jobs in sports, they move in and out, that kind of thing. And all those decisions have to be made behind the scenes. And that's where you see a lot of Al's involvement. Al does a lot of that stuff, and he's really good at that stuff.
Okay. Now, since you've been doing this for a number of years, who would you say was your favorite player and or coach to interview?
To interview. Wow, that's fascinating. Among the greatest is Jason Kelce. I could tell you that. Because Jason Kelce tells the truth. He gets himself in trouble for doing it, but he's so truthful. That's the one common thread in the people I love to interview. My all-time favorite, I guess, would be the former Phillies manager, Dallas Green. Because Dallas Green would come in, we would be down in spring training, and Dallas would come over to us from another part of the spring training complex. And he'd go, "Hey, Angie." I go, "Hey, Dallas." And he'd go, "You're going to get me in trouble again, aren't you?" He would. He would. Johnny didn't know how to give you a politically correct answer. You said, "What do you think of Scott Rowland? He could have been a lot better player. He had the wrong attitude." He'd say stuff like that. Most people in a sports interview don't give you that much, but he was great. Eagle coaches, the best Eagles coach I ever interviewed was Doug Peterson. He was fantastic. Phil Martelli for many years was such a great interview on anything going on in Philadelphia sports, even though he was St. Joe's coach. There are a lot of them, but the one thing they all need to have is a willingness to say the truth, even if it's provocative or controversial. Most of these guys won't do that.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think the Phillies need somebody like a Dallas Green or even a Larry Bowa today.
Yeah. John, you're right. They need somebody who's old school, because right now they've gone way too far over on the analytics side. And they don't have any people in the organization right now who speak the language of the fan. That's the important thing. Girardi is very guarded. The manager is not giving you much in his interviews. Dombrowski isn't appearing very often. And when he does, he's not giving you much. The owner, John Middleton, very rarely shows himself. You need a guy who can speak the language of the fan, a Jason Kelce. They don't have one on the roster, and they don't have one in the front office. They need it. It's a big void right now at the Phillies.
Yeah, and speaking of Jason Kelce, I heard him yesterday. I don't know if you caught it. He was on Marks and Weeks yesterday afternoon.
Oh, I didn't even know. No.
Okay. And Ike, it was either Ike or John, one or the other, asked him about Ben Simmons.
Oh, what did he say? I got to get this. No one told me.
He was being pretty honest as an athlete, to which I was a little surprised. He was saying, basically saying Ben needs to learn how to shoot, But I won't put all the blame on Ben. They did give up an 18-point lead and a 26-point lead. So it's on the team. But Ben needs to learn how to shoot, or maybe the Sixers need to move on from him.
John, do you realize you just gave me something for tomorrow's show?
Hey,
I will dig that out. No one at WIP informed me that Kelce had come on, let alone had said that. Tomorrow's show, you'll hear it. John Marone got it for me.
There you go. Hey, plug my Twitter too, XJM3241.
I will. I'll do it, John. I
Oh,
promise.
thank you.
Fair trade. It's a fair trade.
I'm glad to give you stuff for the show. And I was surprised to hear Kelsey say that, because typically an athlete would try to protect another athlete.
Exactly. And that's why Kelsey's so good, because ultimately it's about respecting the fan over anything else. It makes maybe it makes his job a little harder. Somebody's going to go after him on Twitter. He took a shot at Ben Simmons. But Jason Kelsey, you saw it at the parade. He cares most about those people who've been fans like you are with an Eagles jersey right there, John. That's his number one priority, you. And that is so important in Philadelphia. And that's why he's one of the best.
Yeah, and I can honestly see somebody like a Kelsey, when the time comes, and who knows, maybe after this season, when he hangs it up, switching over to WIP, like an Ike Weiss.
Yes, absolutely. He would be good at that, but he also could be a very good coach. He's really smart.
Yeah.
I think Kelsey can do whatever he wants. He's smart and he can go wherever he wants and will be successful at it. I'm certain of that.
Let's get back to more of your show and you a little bit more. How much longer? I know you always talk about it for the past couple of years about the retirement thing. How much longer do you think you'll go?
Not much at all. I have a decision to make because my contract is up at the end of this year. And I just hit a milestone of 70. But it's really hard when your identity is so closely tied to what you do to walk away. But when a Mark Zumoff can do it at 65, Les Bowen did it 67, I think he is. Paul Domowitch, a great football writer, mid to late 60s. I don't know. I would have already done it if I thought there was a better thing that I could move to. But I also understand that the time is really drawing near, and B, it's time for somebody else to have a shot at this. It's such a great job. There are great people waiting in line. I've already overstayed my welcome. It's close. It's close. Maybe this year, at the most next year. I can't see it going anywhere beyond that, but it's really close. I can feel it now. I've talked about it, you're right, a lot. Now I feel it. That's the difference.
And do you think part of the reason you stayed for so long is the other people on your show, like Weir and Al, Joe Rector, that I don't want to say depend on you, but depend on the show for their careers as well? Is that part of the reason?
I'm not going to say that isn't a factor, but I think they're all tremendously talented on their own and would be successful with whoever they work with. I know what their work ethics are like. I know what their skill sets are, and they don't need me to be good at this. If anything, it might be the other way around. I don't have a lot of close friendships. I don't know, outside of this job, it's just basically my family. It's going to be hard for me to leave them, probably a lot harder than it will be for them to see me leave. But I'm older than them, and they'll reach a point too sometime when they're around this age where they'll make a decision for themselves. But yeah, it's what it comes down to is when you wake up in the morning after you've had this job for so many years, what are you going to do? What's your day look like? And I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Yeah, find something you love to do, kind of like Michael Balkan was saying this morning, and I heard you interviewing him this morning on your show.
Yeah, it's what it is. Michael probably will stay very long. Howard Eskin, I doubt he'll ever leave. He lives it. This is his life. And Everybody has to make that decision when they once you hit your 60s, it starts to creep into your mind. And then if you ever still are working at 70, it's there every day for you to look at.
It's funny you bung up Howard asking, because I was going to ask you, would you do something like Howard? Give up the day-to-day show and do every Saturday morning and a couple times a week or something like that?
No. The only thing I would do, I would quit cold turkey. I would never do another regular radio show. But I got to admit, podcasts have become so popular. It would give me a forum to express my opinions without having to get up at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And that would be, if I did anything further beyond this show, it would be that. That would be the only thing I would consider. I would not do another shift. No, that's it.
Then podcasts, take it from me. I just started this in February. Easy
Right,
to
right.
do, you know, kind of fun. I'm not looking at making money. If I do, that's good. I'm
Right.
doing it as a hobby.
Well, I hope you do make money. You're good at it. You clearly know what you're doing. And look, if you had told me podcast 5 years ago, John, I wouldn't have known what it was. But I work for Odyssey, which is the biggest podcast company in the world. And that would, rather than just quit totally cold turkey, that would probably be something I would step into when I was ready to finally leave.
Yeah,
That's it.
something to keep busy, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But I heard the pay's nowhere near as good.
No, trust me. I got my regular job I gotta go to every other day.
Exactly, exactly.
Uh, okay. Now, I asked you who your favorite player or coach to interview, and if you don't want to answer this, that's fine. But who was the person that, oh God, I hope I never have to talk to him again, person to interview?
Uh, there's a lot of those. There's a lot more of those. I'll give you a guy that volunteered to come on our show all the time and he was just a jerk. All right. Kurt Schilling. Kurt Schilling. Kurt Schilling, a word never came out of his mouth that wasn't self-serving. And he was opinionated to the extreme, but it wasn't the kind of opinion that was provocative. He was a bully, right? Kurt Schilling, now, of all the guys I've encountered in all these years, he was like one of the worst guys. And he loved the other people that worked on his show. He loved Al. He loved Mike Missinelli in the afternoon. But they kissed his ass. I didn't. All right. When I have never been that impressed by athletes. Yes, they have a gift I wasn't given, but that doesn't mean they're smarter than me. It doesn't mean they're better in front of a microphone than I am. But a lot of people who are in my line of work wish they could have been athletes. I never harbored that ambition. That wasn't part of what I did. So I alienated him from the beginning. And as you see now, he's a lunatic with a Twitter account, making stupid comments every chance he can. He actually moved to my home state of Rhode Island and built them out of $75,000. They got into a huge fight. It was a huge amount of money. It was more than that. Over a video game company he set up. Might have been 75 million, whatever it was. He's just not a guy I care for, but it's one of many. Ryan Sandberg was a horrible interview. Ryan Sandberg wanted nothing to do with anyone. Why he took the job as Phillies manager, I will never figure out. Scott O'Neill just stepped down as CEO, right? When you stopped talking to him, you felt like you needed a shower. The guy was just so slick and phony. Ugh. There's a million. Honestly, there's way more of those than the guy.
Your favorites.
I love this guy. Doug Peterson was a great one, by the way. Doug Peterson was very honest. He was a terrific guy. He was the best Eagles coach that I ever interviewed. He was terrific. Andy Reid, couldn't stand him. All right. Still can't stand him, John. The guy was a phony. He's always been a phony. I don't know why people in this city love him. He's a phony.
Now I know you can't. I know you can't stand him. I listen to your show. Hear you all the time.
Horrible. He's a phony. I don't know what people are seeing in this guy. And he never won here. Doug did. Why is Andy higher rated than Doug? If Doug won a championship, Andy spent 14 years of our lives here, never won, ended up leaving the team, the cupboard bare, runs to Kansas City, gets Patrick Mahomes and becomes a genius.
Well,
Nah, phony.
one reason I think Andy is looked more appreciative now. Now, when he left, he wasn't. Everybody was cussing him out, saying "get the hell out of town" and all that stuff.
Right.
But right after he left, we went through the disastrous Chip Kelly era.
You're right. Maybe that brought some people back to Andy. All I know is when he was here, he's a robot the way he answered every question, had no respect for the fans ever. He caught Brian Dawkins. He let him go to Denver and wouldn't talk about it. How do you survive that, John? How do you survive? How do you not alienate the entire fan base that loves Brian Dawkins? Somehow he didn't. I don't get it.
Oh, when he did that and they're like, "This is Stacey Andrews Day," that pissed me off. I kicked my coffee table when he did that. I forgot I was barefooted at the time. Messed up my toe.
All right, but John, do you still dislike him?
Truth be told, I kind of warmed up a little bit more to him.
John, no. Hold on to the hatred. Hold on. Important. You're a Philadelphia fan.
Oh, some guys I do, like loser Chip Kelly.
Oh, yeah, well, Chip was, I got along with Chip a lot better than I did Andy, but I don't know why that was. I guess because he came to our first Wing Bowl and he said a lot of nice things about us.
Oh, yeah, he came in like, "Yo, Philly."
Yeah, he played me better than Andy did. Let's put it that way.
He's a better salesman.
Yeah, very much so. I think that might be what it is.
I tell you what, I still hate Scott Wallen.
Oh, me too. He didn't give a damn about you or anybody in this city. He's a jerk.
Exactly.
Not a bad player, don't get me wrong, but never gave a thing back. Never thought he had to. He collecting $15 million a year and thought there was nothing to it but going and playing a baseball game. It's not the way it is. If you feel that way in our city, you should be unpopular.
Yeah. Try to think of a couple others I hanged on to the hatred to. Obviously, the Quiddle, Sandberg. I respect him as a player, but not as a manager.
No, he's a quitter. He was. Ruben, I'm hired. I mean, he's on our show now, and every chance I get, I say to Ruben, what'd you think of that hire of Ryan Sandberg? And he goes, "Mistake. That was a big mistake. I didn't see that one coming."
He flat out say that.
Oh, all the time. He does, because he realizes that Ruben is very savvy about the fans. And Ruben realizes that you need to have somebody as your spokesman, your manager, who bonds with them. And Sandberg couldn't do it at all. It's terrible. Awful. And he wasn't a good manager either.
Yeah, what gets me, it's usually the coaches that we don't think that's going to do any good that turns out to do good, like Charlie Manuel.
Right. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not a huge Manuel guy either, John, because he managed some great baseball teams. Those were some great teams. 06 to 11 were the best Phillies teams. That was the best era in their history. He won 1. He didn't win in 9, and he had a way better team than the Yankees. Ironically, Joe Girardi didn't win. 11, he had the best team in baseball, 102 wins. He didn't win.
Yeah.
He needed to win more than 1. Now, he had a really cool kind of demeanor, and people kind of warmed up to that, but I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, he won 1, so that's good, but I would have liked 2 or 3.
Yeah, we should have at least won 2 with that team for those years.
9 or 11 or both, I would think. I would think.
And he probably will be looked Well, he's already popular here, but he'll be looked at a lot more popular too, had he won another one.
Oh, if he did, he'd probably be the most popular manager or manager or coach in this city's history. Because he's a good guy too. Deep down, he was a good guy. Wasn't arrogant like a lot of these guys. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that's one thing you can say about the person you were talking about earlier, Doug Peterson. One thing I always said about him as a head coach, seems like a nice guy, just maybe a little too honest at his press conferences. Try to hold a couple of things back. We don't need to know everything.
Exactly. John, can I hold up for 1 second? Yes, honey?
The car guy's coming soon. You need to get off or no?
No, I'm good, but
Okay.
make sure you tip him, okay? Sorry, the car's coming right around now. I said, my wife's back to take care of it.
Oh, okay.
Keep going.
Sounds good. Now drive safe now. No more bubbles.
No. Oh, no, there'll be bubbles. There's always potholes in Philadelphia, John. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, that's for sure. It's statewide, I think.
I think he's. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I think a couple other things. Oh, what do you think of Spike Eskin getting that big promotion and going up to New York? Think in the middle of July.
I'll tell you this. I've never even said this to him, John, but I'll say it to you. I've had a lot of bosses at WIP. Most of them truly did not understand how to handle talent. That's them now. How to handle talent from day one. Maybe because Spike's father was a radio guy himself, he knew what to do. He's been better at it than anyone, and he deserves a chance in New York. They're asking a lot of him. New York's a tough market. But Spike Eskin, I would have been retired by now. I can tell you that for sure. He was terrific at providing input and ideas without being negative about it. He manages talent brilliantly, because we are all, if you're in the line of work we're in, your ego is massive, because you go on every day for 4 hours. You know how big an ego you have to think, and you got 4 hours worth of stuff to tell people. You don't, right?
Yeah.
But he understood how to manage egos. And I've never been more comfortable working with someone who's at a management level than Spike. And I told him before, I said, Spike, if anybody could do it, you're going to be able to do it. Because he knows it's hard. It's a hard job. And you're making less money than all these guys who are on these, different shifts. These guys, it's a good paid job, but it's not like you are if you're, drawing advertisers, getting ratings, that kind of stuff. But man, I love working for him. It's going to make my job of staying more difficult, because it was really easy to work with Spike Eskin. He's terrific at his job. He really is.
Well, it might make it a little bit better if when Spike goes, you can take Howard with him.
I told him that. I said, Spike, it's about time your dad broke into the New York market. And I had Howard on to that. And I said to him, Howard, you got to understand, Howard in the 80s, 90s was a big, big name in sports radio. Big name as it was getting big. I said, Howard, there's no way on earth they didn't ask you to go up there to New York yourself. And he said they did. FAN offered him a job after Pete Franklin got sick, their afternoon guy, and he turned it down. And I said, why did you turn down New York, but your son not turn it down? And he just said, Philadelphia is my home, and Philadelphia is where I've always wanted to work. And apparently Spike sees an opportunity here to climb a larger mountain. And if anybody can do it, he will.
Yeah, obviously, I wish Spike the best. Hopefully, he does good and keeps
Good
on
guy.
climbing
Good
up.
guy. good guy. And not everybody in the radio business is a good guy. Spike is a good guy.
Well, I know we're running low on time, but I want to thank you for doing this, for being on the One Show.
Well, John, I'm thrilled to be here. As I told you, I may try a podcast someday, and I learned things from you today, and I got stuff for my show for tomorrow. So
There
this
you-
could work out better for me. This was time well spent. And
But-
I love to be able to take young guys like yourself and you know, if there's a way I can help them, it's one way to pay back. And I'm glad to be able to do it. And you should know that if you need advice, if you need contacts, if you need anything, you know how to reach me.
Well, I appreciate that, Ames. Thank you.
Thanks, John.